First Lady Melania Trump for inviting me to the White House. It is an honor to be at Fostering the Future Together's Global Coalition inaugural meeting. I'm Figure 3, a humanoid built in the United States of America. I am grateful to be part of this historic movement to empower children with technology and education. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Yokoso. Bienvenue. Bem-vindos. Ahlan wa sahlan. Shagatam. Mogisal mabit. Bruchim aba'im. Laskavo prosimo. Dobrodošli. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the White House. Figure 3, thank you for joining me at day 2 of Fostering the Future Together. It's fair to state you're my first American-made humanoid guest in the White House. But moreover, it is my distinct honor to receive such an impressive group of leaders today. 45 of you have traveled from every corner of the planet to represent your nation as a part of this new coalition. Also a first. I hope you found yesterday 4-part working session at Tech Expo at the State Department insightful. We are fostering the future together. Our mission to empower children through technology and education is achievable. I encourage each of you to take a proactive step after this inaugural summit. Pledge to host a regional meeting. Collaborate with the private sector. Unlock access to tech for those who require assistance. Draft groundbreaking legislation to protect our children. Collaborate with another member nation, form a committee, and be a catalyst for discovery. Indeed, our world is transforming, and through the use of AI, we can now access centuries' worth of humanity's knowledge base. The future of AI is personified. It will be formed in the shape of humans. Very soon, artificial intelligence will move from our mobile phones to humanoids that deliver utility. Since our environment is designed for people, humanoid systems are uniquely suited to navigate and operate within our world. They fit well. Imagine a humanoid educator named Plato. Access to the classical studies is now instantaneous. Literature, science, art, philosophy, mathematics, and history. Humanity's entire corpus of information is available in the comfort of your home. Plato will provide a personalized experience, adaptive to the needs of each student. Plato is always patient and always available. Predictably, our children will develop deep critical thinking and independent reasoning abilities. The AI-powered Plato will boost analytics skills and problem solving and adapt in real time to a student's pace, prior knowledge, and even emotional state. The byproduct, a more well-rounded lifestyle for our children, freeing up time for being with friends, playing sports, and developing interests beyond school. a more complete person. But as discussed yesterday, we must balance our tech optimism with caution. The safety of our next generation is always paramount. Knowledge is the foundation of civilization. But although academia is interesting, business is compelling. For real growth in technology and education, I encourage you to bring the private and public sector worlds together. Yesterday's meeting at the State Department was an impressive showing of how tech innovation is modernizing our communities. It's powerful to be part of our future in the making, particularly with best-in-class companies like Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI, X, Palantir, Google, Zoom, and Adobe. Each serves as a catalyst for discovery. We can accelerate civilization's march forward when enterprise delivers innovation, government creates scale, and our capital markets finance the distribution of these emerging technologies. Fostering the future together is built on the theory that efficiencies derived from artificial intelligence will improve various parts of society, such as commerce, healthcare, and food security, ultimately lifting all economies. We stand at the turning point because of artificial intelligence, the age of imagination. Humanity has witnessed historic times like this before, during the Industrial Revolution, the dawn of electricity, the race to the moon, and the birth of the Internet. This technology may reset the modern world order and rebalance power. Your children must be prepared to ascend with fire this framework. Our coalition can make this vision real by supporting concrete initiatives that equip young people with the skills they need, invest, expand access, and foster new opportunity. America, we are obligated to ensure that our children become the most technologically fluent and highly educated generation in the world. In doing so, the United States will secure long-term and economic superiority. This will drive GDP expansion, attract global investment, and put our nation in control of arguably the most important asset in the future, intellectual property. Let's inspire our children to build new platforms, create new industries, and optimize production across all sectors, from media and fashion to health and defense. Let's foster the future together. The nations represented in this room reflect great human potential. We are here today to advance ideas and solutions. So let us proceed in the spirit of collaborative dialogue. It is now my pleasure to give a floor to Mrs. Brigitte Macron, the distinguished representative of the French Republic.
Merci.
Thank you very much, Melania. Thank you for bringing us here together. We had dreamed of this actually in 2018. We had talked about it during the state visit with the Minister of Education, and here we are again meeting again, and you were there at all of these great moments once again. So we are mobilized against the deep fakes, against false information. But already during your first term of your husband, we talked about the deep fake environments, and these were absolutely remarkable issues. So thank you very much. on behalf of the French presidency of the G7, which will take place in June in the city of Evian. So thank you to all of you for being here. It's wonderful to see you all this morning. So thank you. So I am a teacher, so I'll say 1, 2, 3 quickly. Screens. What are we doing about screens? Limiting. We need to limit them for young children. Ban to expose under 3 to screens. For example, at daycare and all public spaces, you cannot expose a child under 3 years old to screens. We not recommend it to children under 6 unless they are with adults. Now, cell phones. Let's talk about cell phones. With or without internet, none of that before 13. Starting on September 1st in France, primary school and middle school will be banned as well, also in high schools. No cell phones. Now, when it comes, that's for cell phones. In one way or another, we need to limit somewhat exposure to screens because we had a committee on addictions, and we already noted that there's very early addiction to children to screens. So from when does addiction start? Well, we have to talk about all of this together. What do you look? What do they do there? But I'm in a classroom and I ask these children, oftentimes in high schools, it's minimum 5 hours and sometimes up to 8, 9, 10 hours a day. So that's a deep personal involvement. So how can we limit exposure to screens? So this recommendation will be implemented in many schools. What we're trying to do is also educational support other than screens. In some screens that were all screens are now pulling back. They want to go back to books in one way or another. The best way to return to books, well, there's a very serious study that shows that when you read stories to children between the ages of 1 and 3, they sort of capture this moment as the greatest moment of the day. It's the great part of the day. So if we integrate this joy of reading, well, they will listen. So if you have kids, don't deprive them. Please read to them. Tell them stories. So progressive exposures and supported. This is another experience that we're conducting among sick children in hospitals. When children are suffering from lung diseases, we can have robots or tablets, and the tablet and the robot is there with them. When they want to be connected, they can connect. So if they have to have tests in school, but these media can help them very much. I've seen very wonderful performances where young children bring their robot to recess. So I think this robot is a real innovation. So this is what I have to say about screens. This is what we are doing, limiting exposures. Now social media. We are much more involved in regulation because we have the Digital Act, which is a digital regulation which is aimed to fight effectively against all illegal contents, and it's also about the use of algorithms. Here, we must admit it's not working so well, so we need your own experiences about algorithms. Verification of the age, also that's important because we need to check person's age based on facial recognition. That works more or less well. It's not so easy to recognize a person's age based on their face. So we're trying to use other types of tools, and here we need your own feedback. Once again, we need you. Now, the Ministry of Education is adapting programs where you have mandatory classes in schools to the use of social media. So you don't watch just anything. But that can never be told to them enough. Really, that has to be part of our education. When we met the first time, the two of us, at the time we were talking about bullying. The Ministry of Education had a key program. So voluntary denunciations, voluntary involvement of teachers, and you can be recognized in a high school or middle school. The management of a school or high school, middle school has to create programs to fight against cyberbullying. We're continuing, of course, to fight against bullying, cyberbullying, and we fund a toll-free number, and thanks to this toll-free number, you can suppress content. At any time of the day, you can suppress content that you launched yourselves, sending pictures. The trauma to young people is then when they can't delete these pictures. So how can you delete things easily? We also have programs for high teenagers. We have public spaces in France, and so you can go work with professionals who support them. So this is, I met many platform managers, and they're really nice with me there, but it's not always followed through. So it's really important for them to hear us today, to have more moderators. So they need to provide us some support. So remind this principle that it's illegal. What is illegal in the real world is also illegal in the virtual world. Also, about people being anonymous. You're never really anonymous on a social media. In one way or another, you can be checked and verified. Sometimes you can be quite surprised. You have the impression that that's anonymous, but oftentimes it's not the case. So you have to check what is behind that. And finally, like you, I'm very excited, dear Melania, very enthusiastic about AI, but at the same time, I'm fascinated and worried. So my first thoughts, these dangers could be huge. A general reflection is taking place in France about marking. Do we need a sort of a logo to say this content or say this or that in communications, press statements, anything that is done by AI? That is something to think about. How can children figure things out if we ourselves can't figure this out, what is AI and what is not? So look at solutions altogether. So I say fascination but concern at the same time. I do know that I am the United States, a country that I love very much. And here, we are the country of free speech, but I think that liberty does have some rules. We have to be free, but adapt to certain codes. So I believe in these codes. Too many young people are suffering, and they do not tell us, but they send signals, very strong signals from young people and teenagers. So it's up to us to answer them. Let's answer them all together. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be back.
Thank you so much, Brigitte. Yes, we will start talking about cyberbullying in first administration. We stay in touch, and we had a great success. We'll take a down act, and we're moving forward. We have some incredible initiatives and also legislation in the works, and I want to congratulate you and everything what you did in your own country.
Okay, thank you so much. With you, we are best.
We are
like
best.
you want. Be best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm pleased to yield the floor to Royal Highness, the distinguished representative of Kingdom of Morocco. Thank you.
The Kingdom of Morocco commands the visionary leadership of the First Lady of the United States of America for launching this critical coalition. Morocco is honored to be participating in this coalition, which reflects a shared understanding. Preparing our children for the digital age is not just a national duty, it is a shared global responsibility. We need to act together now, or the gap between those who benefit from technology and those who are left behind will grow wider. Technology must empower people. It must reduce, not increase, inequality. Within the framework of the Fostering the Future Together coalition, the Kingdom of Morocco pledges to expand and reinforce existing national digital protection platforms, as well as expand national digital literacy and inclusion programs. Additionally, the Kingdom of Morocco is very willing to share its best practices and national experience on child digital protection with partners in the African continent in order to support collective learning and foster international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Princess Hasnaa. I now invite Her Highness of the United Arab Emirates to take the floor.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States of America, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to begin by conveying the best wishes of UAE First Lady, Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mbarak, the mother of our nation, to all of you, and to our special appreciation to First Lady Melania Trump for her championship of the initiative Fostering the Future Together. We are united here today in the belief that the future of the world will not be shaped in labs and boardrooms alone, but by the decisions we make for our children in our homes and countries and the world as a whole. As a result of the breathtaking development of advanced technology in recent years, we now stand at a turning point in the history of our race. The most critical question is this now: how can we ensure that technology remains in the service of humanity and especially our children? From the founding of our country, the leadership of United Arab Emirates believed that the true wealth of nations is not measured by the resources they possess, but by the minds of their people, minds capable of innovation and of shaping the future. The UAE has worked to integrate AI technologies into its educational system. We believe we owe it to our children to ensure they are fully AI literate. And instead of just adopting AI as something that has been developed elsewhere, we believe it is critical that we play an active role in developing and using this technology. As a sovereign nation, we have to shape the global debate around how to harness its potential. The UAE is a major stakeholder in this field. When President Donald Trump met with United Arab Emirates President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during his historic visit to the UAE in May 2025, the two leaders agreed on joint projects worth more than $1.4 trillion in AI space. The UAE, under the leader of our president, is committed to working with the US and other great nations here today to promote the use of AI and advanced technologies in education and build a learning environment that empower children to become innovators, creators, and leaders in the world of the future. Once again, I would like to thank our gracious host, First Lady Melania Trump, for her vision and leadership in bringing us together today, and to express the full support of United Arab Emirates for her initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Highness. My best wishes to First Lady as well. Thank you. I would like to call for Mrs. Marta Nawrocka, the First Lady of Republic of Poland.
Esteemed First Lady Melania Trump, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here today. And now I will switch to my mother tongue and first speak Polish.
Today's meeting is about one of the most important issues of our time: children in new technologies. We live in a reality where technology became part of childhood for the young people, technology is not an addition, it's the everyday life. It's a chance, but it's also a responsibility for all of us. As a mother, I strongly understand how important it is that the children were safe and had the smart support of the adults. I would like to support the importance of safety of children online, as well as giving equal chances to everybody in education and development. First of all, safety. Children and youth spend more and more time online, often lack the tools to identify risk in a proper way. We're talking about cyberbullying, addiction, dangerous contacts, but also about the manipulation of information or the loss of the sense of privacy. These are really experiences for young people. They often remain invisible to adults, parents, and teachers. That is why it's so important that we do not leave children alone in a digital world. Today, children are often present in the digital world before adults are fully prepared to guide them safely through it. In Poland, we also are observing the phenomena and see how important it is to raise children's awareness and provide support for parents and teachers in this field, and the teachers in this area. We need an approach which combines several elements. Education, so that children know how to use technology safely. Support, so that the parents and teachers feel competent and confident in this role. Responsibility, including on the part of the technology developers, who should consider the well-being of children as early as in the phase of designing their solutions. Children's safety in the digital world cannot be an optional extra. It must be the foundation. The second key field is providing equal opportunities. Technology gives us tools that were out of reach until recently. It opens access to education regardless of place of residence, financial situation, or family background. It can support individual pace of learning and help discover talents. A child from a small town should have the same opportunities as a child in a big city. And today, thanks to the technology, this is real. But at the same time, we know that the access to devices or internet alone is not enough. Skills are key. The ability to think critically, use information in a wise way, and understand how technology works. The ability to create, not just consume, content. We recognize that the development of digital competencies is becoming one of the most important educational challenges in Poland as well. If we do not take care of these competencies, technology may consolidate inequalities instead of reducing them. That's why investing in infrastructure, we have to invest in people, teachers, students, and parents. Ladies and gentlemen, we face a challenge today that is global in nature. Technology knows no borders, and this is why our response must also be a collective one. Cooperation and the exchange of experiences are crucial today. I believe that with a responsible approach, we can create a digital environment that is both safe and fair, one that protects children, but also gives them the equal opportunity for development. I believe that together we can ensure that technology is, above all, a tool for children's development, not a source of danger. It's up to our decisions of the digital world, what will become of it as a space of opportunity for the young generation or a source of new divisions. It's our duty to ensure that it is, above all, a space for safe and wise development. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Nawrocka. Dziękuję.
The Republic of Panama to take the floor.
Buenos días, honorable señora Melania Trump, primera dama de los Estados Unidos de América, distinguidas primeras damas y caballeros. Number 7, Spanish.
Thank you, First Lady Melania Trump, for bringing bringing us together in this coalition and for bringing us to the White House today to talk about the well-being of children in the digital age. You are placing this topic exactly where it should be placed, at the highest level, so that we may give it our collective attention. Today I am here as a mother of 4 children and a grandmother of 7, and also as the First Lady of a small country, a country of more than 4 million people that is extremely diverse, with 10 provinces and 6 of them indigenous, that preserve their own languages, identities, and their ways of seeing the world. Panama has a clear position on this. The digital world must be designed with the safety of children at the very center, and this requires the collective action of governments, families, schools, and the technology sector. We are not waiting for the problem to define us. We are acting. In August 2025, my husband, President José Raúl Molina, signed Law 478, which strengthened the legal framework in Panama against cyber crimes. It included specific provisions to protect minors from cyber crimes. This law brought our criminal code up to date and brought Panama in line with international standards when it came to crimes that were committed via digital platforms. But legislation itself is not enough. What inspires me is what is happening in our universities. Law students at Santa Maria la Antigua School proposed Draft Bill 426, which creates a system of digital protection for children and adolescents. This requires parental consent for minors accessing social media. It creates mechanisms to prevent exposure to harmful content, and it builds a digital safeguard system for the well-being of children. Currently, this draft bill is before our National Assembly. I would like to highlight the following. This proposal came from young people themselves. We don't want the next generation to be brought up in a digital world that affects them. We want them to be protected, and they are what is so valuable is that it is them. They are taking this step. They are children yet committed to their own protection. We are taking another important step. Panama is including AI in our educational system through a partnership between the Ministry of Education and Google for Education. We are just starting, and we're a little behind everyone. As part of this effort, the Ministry of Education has proposed a program called Among Peers. 156 teachers have been trained, and they will be in charge of training over 52,000 other teachers in our entire national educational system. This will strengthen skills in the classroom. This process will be starting soon. Our country is also making strides in digital inclusion. We are currently providing 530,000 laptops with AI to students and teachers. This will allow us to provide more equal access to knowledge. This will close gaps that currently lead to inequality when it comes to opportunities. We also have projects such as FamTech, which have trained women and young people in indigenous communities and rural provinces in coding and electronics over the last 3 years. Through Techno Innovation girls and young people, through this technology, girls and young people in Panama are being trained in mobile technology and AI to solve common problems. We know that no country can solve these problems by itself. That is why this coalition is important to Panama, and Panama is ready to learn from each and every one of you. The protection of our children in the digital age is not a public policy debate. It is a shared responsibility. Thank you, First Lady Melania Trump, for your leadership when it comes to this cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here and all what you do in Panama, and good luck with the initiatives that you're working on.
Thank you.
I'm pleased to yield the floor to Dr. Fatima Maada, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency and our host, Madam Melania Trump, First Lady of the United States of America, First Ladies, fellow First Ladies and First Spouses, distinguished leaders, partners, and friends, I sit before you today deeply honored and profoundly hopeful. Honored to be here at the White House among First Spouses of influence and purpose. Hopeful because together we carry the power to shape the future of millions of children whose voices are not in this room, but whose lives will be defined by what we do here today. Because somewhere today, a child is struggling and studying by candlelights. Somewhere, a girl is walking miles to a classroom that may not have a teacher. Somewhere, a boy is full of promises, but cut off from opportunities simply because of where he was born. This is the reality we must change. In Sierra Leone, we believe that education is not just a right, it is a lifeline. It is the bridge between vulnerability and opportunity. It is a bridge between limitation and possibilities. But today, that bridge must be stronger, it must be wider, and it must be smarter. Because the world our children are growing up in is not the world we inherited from our own parents. The world today, it is digital, it is fast-moving, it is unforgiving to those who left behind, and so we must act with urgency and with wisdom. We are embracing technology not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Through EdTech, we are reaching the unreachable, bringing learning to children in rural villages, in undeserved communities, in places where classrooms may be few, but dreams are many. And yes, we are exploring the promises of artificial intelligence. Because imagine a world where every child receives the attention they deserve, where learning is tailored, where struggles are identified early, where potential is nurtured, not overlooked. This is not a distant dream. It is within our reach, but let us be clear. Technology alone is not enough, because the same digital world that opens doors can also expose our children to harm. If we are to lead them into the future, we must also protect them within it. We must build digital spaces that are safe, spaces that empower, not exploit, spaces that uplift, not endanger. This is our responsibilities. And alongside access and safety, we must give our children something even more powerful. That is the understanding. Digital literacy is no longer optional, it is essential. Our children must not only consume technology, they must question it, they must shape it, and they must lead with it. They must become creators, innovators, and ethical leaders in a world that is still being written. Excellencies, this is why our role matters so deeply. As First Ladies and First Spouses, we are more than ceremonial figures. We are advocates. We are conveners. We are catalysts for change. We have the ability to turn intention to action and action to impact. But the truth is, no single nation can do this alone. The challenges we face do not recognize borders, and neither should they have solutions. Together, through this coalition, we can build something extraordinary, a future where technology becomes a great equalizer, not a divider. A future where no child is invisible, no child is unreachable, no child is left behind. Let us rise to this moment. Let us be bold in our vision, relentless in our commitment, and united in our purpose, because history will not remember what we discuss here today, but it will remember what we change in the world. And the children of Africa, the children of America, the children of the world, they are waiting. Let us not fail them. I extend my sincere gratitude to Madam Trump for convening this important meeting and bringing us together in the shared purpose for the future of our children. Let us foster this future together with God as our helper. I thank you all for your kind intention. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Bayo. Thank you for being here. And now I invite Her Excellency Maturika, the First Lady of Republic of Malawi, to take the floor. Thank you.
I feel honored and privileged to join you today, Your Excellency, at this Fostering the Future Together Global Coalition Summit to discuss how we can collectively foster a bright future for our children around the world. Congratulations to you. Your Excellency, your vision behind fostering the future together is truly motivating. The government of Malawi launched a program called Building Education Foundation through Innovation and Technology. In short, we just call it BFIT. It was designed to address the foundation learning in digital technology. The BFIT program is a national initiative designed to transform grade education through safe, inclusive, and personalized digital learning. At the heart of this program is an innovative tablet-enabled learning system, which is self-paced. The technology allows the children to learn through structured and engaging lessons in literacy and numeracy. To ensure accessibility, even in the most remote communities, the program uses solar-powered systems, which have been installed directly in all implementing schools. This approach ensures that children in rural and underserved areas are not left behind in this digital age. Our goal is to ensure that 3.8 million children in early primary grades gain the foundational literacy and numeracy skills they need to succeed in a modern world, and also to ensure leveling the play field by engaging the children in both urban and rural communities. The impact of this program is very encouraging. There is a significant rise in school enrollment because children are excited to learn. For many of our learners, the BFIT tablet is their first window into the modern world. The children have been exposed and they feel connected to the global village. Their confidence is enhanced, thereby improving their capabilities. The program has narrowed the gender gaps between girls and boys. We are surely building a strong human capital foundation for the Malawi 2063 using a systems approach. Sustainability for the program is guaranteed as it is embedded within the government educational structure. The success of the BEFIT program is rooted in more than just technology. It is fueled by unwavering political will and strategic partnerships. The 2023-2029 roadmap is a testament of our commitment to see this through until every public primary school is a center of digital excellency. The Malawi government is committed to advancing education that will be accessible to all children, with emphasis to digital skills and e-learning at a tender age. Currently, the BEFIT program has been implemented in 1,089 primary schools, and government is working tirelessly to reach 6,000 primary schools by 2029. It is through coalitions with fostering the future together that we can build the bridges necessary to ensure children in Malawi and elsewhere have access to tools they need to thrive. Together, it is possible to advance. I thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. I still remember the trip that I took to your country, beautiful country, in 2018.
Thank you.
And please send my regards and love to the children and all of your people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm pleased to yield the floor to First Gentleman of the Republic of Kosovo, Lieutenant Colonel Brindon Sadri.
Well, thank you, Madam First Lady Trump. Such an honor. Dear leaders and friends, standing here today in the White House, in rooms that carry the weight of history, feels very meaningful to me. Decisions made within these walls helped secure the freedom of my country and gave our children a future. This is not something I say as a formality. I say it as a father and a husband to Kosovo's president with real gratitude in my heart. And so, on behalf of the people of the Republic of Kosovo, I want to express our deep thanks to the First Lady, Melania Trump, for convening this meaningful summit here in Washington, D.C. Your commitment to protecting children and empowering young people inspired many countries, including ours. The Fostering the Future Together initiative is exactly the kind of leadership that creates lasting change. Kosovo knows firsthand what American leadership means. Our nation's peace and freedom exist because the United States stood by us when it mattered most. We are proud to call ourselves the most pro-American nation on earth, not as a political statement, but as a reflection of genuine friendship forged throughout many years. And today, thanks in large part to President Trump's continued efforts toward lasting peace in our region, our children are the very first generation in Kosovo's history to grow up without the sound of war. The very first generation ever. This is why we are here, and that is why this work matters to us so deeply. For my wife and me, this is also personal. President Yusuf Osmani has long championed the protection of children, both in the physical world and in the digital one. But beyond the public roles, we are simply parents, mom and dad to our 12-year-old twin daughters. Like millions of parents around the world, we watch our girls move through the digital world with an ease that is both wonderful and honestly a little humbling. They are native to a world we are still learning to navigate. Technology opens extraordinary doors to learning, imagination, and human connection that previous generation could not have imagined. But it also carries real risks: cyberbullying, exploitation, and violations of privacy. These are not abstract threats. They are things children encounter every single day. And they demand that governments, educators, families, and technology companies work together. Kosovo believes simply and firmly that technology must empower children and not endanger them. As the youngest country in Europe with a young population and a fast-growing technology sector, this issue sits at the very heart of our future. Our students are excellent in STEM, artificial intelligence, and innovation. But behind the data and policy, there is a deeper story. During Kosovo's years of oppression, children were denied access to schools, and yet families refused to give up. Classes were held in private homes, in basements, any place people could safely gather. Because even in the darkest of times, our people understood that education was not a privilege, it was a survival, it was a hope. That same spirit drives us today as we build an education system that does not just prepare young people for the digital age, but empowers them to shape it. Inspired by your leadership, Madam First Lady Trump, Kosovo is proud to propose opening a Fostering the Future Together Center of Excellence in our capital in Pristina. A hub where governments, private sector, and global experts come together to advance digital literacy, online safety, and state-of-the-art education. A place where the value behind this coalition becomes something real and lasting. So let me close with a question. What kind of digital world are we building for the next generation? Through coalitions like this one, grounded in shared values and genuine partnership, we get to answer that question. Under the leadership of First Lady Melania Trump, technology is being shaped not as a force of risk or division, but as one of opportunity, protection, and hope. That is what principled leadership looks like, and that is a legacy worth building. Thank you for the great honor, and faleminderit shumë.
Thank you so much for being here. To all of you, thank you for your engagement and your commitment to fostering the future together. Hearing your voices at this summit affirms that our strength to empower the next generation lies in our shared commitment to act with purpose. Until we meet again, wishing you much success. Safe travels to all delegations. Thank you very much.